So you just got approved to rent a house or an apartment here in France? Congratulations. Now what? That was our exact question the morning that we came over here to pick up the keys to this place. What's next is the move-in inspection. And let me tell you, it is nothing like anything I've ever experienced in the US or in China renting a house, and it was even more detailed than the last time I bought a house in the United States. And I can promise you that I signed fewer papers and documents for that mortgage than I did to rent this place. But here we are, so let's get into it. So the first thing you do when you get your approval is you have to wire the money. That's typically going to be your first month's rent plus the security deposit. And note that those are going to be two separate wires. Each one has very specific instructions that go into the wire itself. So be aware that it's not just one wire and one payment. You have to split it into the two respective payments. Then you're going to begin the digital signing marathon. That's the lease itself, the move-in inspection, the rights for them to take photos of the place, a privacy policy, and most of that is done on the agent's iPad on the day that you actually take possession of your house or apartment. Now, when you're finally done with all of that, they hand you this. In our case, that's 29 keys plus 2 remote controls for the garage and the front gate. This is what I carry around every day just to get in and out of this place and make sure everything's locked up and secure. So if you're coming from the US, this is probably especially shocking because it's very typical to have one or maybe just 2 keys that operate an entire house because many of the locks will be keyed to work on a common lock. But here in France, they believe in keeping everything separate. I think this protects you in the long run because if you lose that one key, someone can get in and out to your whole place. In our case, there's a key to the outer gate. There is a second key for the security door that covers the front door. There are 2 locks on that door. Plus on the downstairs, there are 2 locks on the door itself, and then there's a security gate on that. There's a key to the garage, and actually this one is to the lock for the baby stroller, but I need this one. I didn't get this at the lease, but it's important to keep it handy. But as far as the inspection itself, let me tell you what surprised me. First of all, the main inspections actually happen before anyone moves into the place. There are 6 mandatory diagnostic inspections that France requires of any place being rented. These include the energy efficiency test, the lead paint test, the gas and electrical safety tests, a termite inspection, and an environmental risk assessment. In our case, this is a pre-World War II house. It has thick stone walls but no insulation, which means that it's pretty breathable and comfortable in the summer. It doesn't get super hot, but it is going to be pretty brutal as it gets colder into the winter. We're already running the heaters right now in mid-November. That all goes into your lease, and you get a preview of your lease before you have signed the final thing and get to the transferring money and taking possession stage. So if you have any questions about the reports, you can ask them then and hopefully get some satisfaction. But that's all just the prelude to the main event itself, which is the move-in inspection, the day that you show up to take possession and get your very own giant set of keys. In our case, our agent had an iPad and a special application for building this document that we would get later, and he went through the entire place and took photographs of everything you can imagine. The final document we got is 32 pages long. It covers 12 different areas of the entire house. He photographed every wall, floor, door, window, radiator, and described in detail the condition of everything. Most of it shows bon état, which is good condition, but he still logged every single thing. There's some cracked marble by a fireplace, there's some paint splatter in a bathtub, etc. And then after he was finished, he sat down with us, he went through every photo and every page. We had to sign the final document, which verified that yes, we agree this is the condition the place is in, so if there's a dispute later, well, there's a record that you can dispute from. When we signed that, he let us know that his work was now done, and if we had any issues, that we had to talk directly to the landlord because the agent was done with his service. He was getting paid and going on his merry way. But we were not at all done setting the place up yet. You have all of your utilities. You have electric, gas. We don't have gas here, but gas if you have it. Your water bill, of course, internet. And you still have to activate all of that. So depending on where you live, you might actually have a choice of companies. In our case, there were 3 different electric companies we could choose from. We chose the one that had been servicing the house previously. I had my French friend call them because they wanted a phone call to activate the account. You couldn't just do it online. But back to the inspection. At some point, you really are finished and the agent tells you that their work is done. And if you have any future problems, to call the landlord because we're not his problem anymore. The agent's, not the landlord's. And he leaves. And that's the moment that this felt like our place, at least for the next 3 years. So honestly, I've come to really appreciate the French system. It's pretty overwhelming, but also you are very well protected. Everyone is protected, the tenant and the landlord. Everything's documented, so if there are any disputes, there's a record to compare to. So that's what happens after you're approved to rent in France. Next week, we're going to have a video all about the process of your move. Arranging a mover, doing the actual move, settling in, and turning your house or apartment into a home. If you're new here, please subscribe to catch future videos. And if you want to know more about the process, we have a whole playlist of similar videos related to different aspects of the process, linked right up here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.